Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Newsfront. We had a wonderful weekend of mixed martial arts action. There's a pay-per-view this weekend, so let's get to the news. In case you haven't been paying attention to any news recently, Jorge Masvidal allegedly attacked Colby Covington in Florida. He did what? Yeah, that's right. All that's happened so far apparently is a 25 feet restraining order and more details that we'll find out on May 12th. Last week he was being accused of inflicting a tooth injury, now it's suddenly a brain injury, so Masvidal's lawyer Bradford Cohen has been releasing a bit more information. So here are the photos of Colby. As you can see, apparently, yeah, he's missing a tooth. Apparently Masvidal crept up on Colby and attacked him from behind whilst hooded, which in Florida is another law entirely, apparently. Which, yeah, can hold a few more serious consequences, so body cam footage is apparently gonna come out at some point that shows Masvidal came at Colby from the front and even recognized him before he attacked him. And then apparently he ran away afterwards. This is the reason why the photos were released, and yeah, hopefully the body cam footage comes out later so we can get a clearer idea of what exactly happened. So that's partly why it was released, but mainly it's to refute the claim of a brain injury. So Masvidal's lawyer Bradford Cohen said, yeah, if it is a brain injury, then we're going to see medical records to prove that it isn't from fighting. And I'm not sure how he's going to do that. And apparently if he does have a brain injury, well then they're going to refute that and say he's not fit for trial. Yeah, this one's getting messy pretty quickly. Masvidal has also come out and said that the Rolex apparently that he did damage to is a Folex and it's not worth the money. Yeah, so he's going to dispute that one as well. Obviously there are privacy laws at the moment, that's why we haven't seen much of anything. We should find out more on May 12th or before that even, that's when the court date is set, and hopefully we'll get some body cam footage as well. So yeah, we'll finally be able to put an end to this nonsense. In other news, Chito Vera won at the weekend, and yeah, he's ready to kill everyone. So he was asked about the fact Rob missed weight, but Chito really didn't care at all, and he's ready to fight anyone in the division, but specifically he wants Dominic Cruz. He called out Dom when he was a little bit lower in the rankings, but now he's moved up. Well, there's no place left to run, and that's the man he wants.
10 times he declined to fight me. You know, I'm not calling him a pussy, but he declined a couple times in the past. He was always talking he wanted to fight somebody above him. Guess what? I'm above you right now, motherfucker, so now we can go.
Also on his hit list is a potential rematch with Jose Aldo or Corey Sandhagen, which I think would be a fantastic fight.
What about Corey?
Right here. He can get it too. We were supposed to main event February something. He wasn't available. I think he was hurt. He seems to be a fucking real one.
Especially while entering into the top 5, the Aldo fight is probably more realistic, but they did just fight. Obviously, he knows everything's a bit crazy at 135 at the moment. Cejudo's coming back. Is he? Isn't he? But he's prepared to wait for his title shot.
You know how the cards play on the top. You know, Cejudo wanna come back. If Cejudo jumps the line, they have to give TJ the #1 contender. It's all how that plays on the top. At the end of the day, I'm just chilling. It's really cool.
He says he's ready to fight in a month, but yeah, it's doubtful he'll probably have an opponent by then. There's a couple of things been happening on social media as well. This weekend is obviously Chandler versus Ferguson, and a fan came out and asked Dustin, well, you should probably fight the winner, shouldn't you? And yeah, he agrees. I think it's a good fight. It's a great fight. Dustin needs a bounce back. He'll beat one of them up, surely. I think either matchup is good, but I think Dustin's a little bit further ahead than those guys at the moment. Maybe, I don't know. He might be getting old. Who would I prefer to see? Probably Dustin versus Chandler, just because we don't know how Tony's looking, do we? Maybe Tony beats him, rolls on him. Spinning Kimura kick. That's a real move. Justin Gaethje also accused Nate Diaz of being jealous, but he said he's not jealous of anything. So he called him a bitch.
Does he look like a bitch? No!
Jared Cannonier announced on his Instagram story that the contract is signed for the Israel Adesanya fight, which is good because we know Izzy wants fresh meat. A nice piece of crispy meat. No date or announcement or venue or anything like that, but that fight is coming and it should be an interesting contest for Adesanya. Carla Esparza is looking to make history this weekend. Yeah, if she actually wins the belt, she'll have the longest time between title reigns in UFC history. Yeah, and also she'll prove to herself that it's not a fluke, is what she says anyway.
I mean, even stepping into this title fight is a huge achievement for me, but like winning that would solidify that, like, hey, you know, back then it wasn't a fluke. It wasn't because there wasn't anyone in the division. Like, I've continued to grow and get better and evolve, and I'm still hanging with, you know, the new young up and comers.
She said she went back and watched the first fight a ton, but obviously a lot has changed since then. But she did say most fighters stay the same, at least in their sort of core aspect of their game, so she's expecting somewhat of a similar matchup.
It's been almost 8 years. We've both evolved and changed a lot. At the end of the day, like, there's still a lot of tendencies that are the the same on both sides in any fighter.
She also acknowledged when asked that while she was champion, her first defense against Ioane and Jacek, it came a little bit too quickly. She's a little bit upset about it maybe, but time has moved on since then, obviously.
Definitely felt that way at the time. You know, I did dwell on it for a little bit and I was upset, but you know, it didn't really serve me to be upset about that. And that fight is done and over with. You know, I lost, you know, gotta lick your wounds and like come back and keep growing.
And just to add a little more crazy into her fight week, she's getting married the week after the fight. Apparently she booked it a few months in advance. The fight came up and she wasn't gonna move it. I hear moving wedding stuff is quite difficult. Marriage. Dan Hooker reflected a little bit on his UFC London performance against Arnold Allen. He said he's also pretty much done with 145, unfortunately.
Put a fork in it, bud.
And he did have a game plan that night. It kind of just went a bit out the window and he decided just to throw hands in the end. Not always the best game plan though.
Looked down at my hands and I was just like, tonight's one of those nights. Like we're going out there and we're swinging, you know, like we're swinging big.
He did say that the weight cut was really easy though, which is a little bit confusing. Maybe he's just trying to not make excuses for the losses.
It was good. Like weight cut was clean. Like I ticked all the boxes, like did everything perfectly.
He's talked about retiring previously, you know, certainly had a long career. Doesn't seem to be on the table at the moment though.
In that moment, I was like, I'm done. I'm finished with the shitty sport. You get back to the hotel and you like sit down and you think about it and you realize you're not good at anything else either. So it's like, well, shit, I've kind of painted myself into a bit of a corner here.
Hopefully good matchups for that man. Kayla came out yesterday and explained what happened during her contract negotiations with Bellator. She wanted to go over and fight Cyborg, but the PFL have a matching clause in her contract and basically they matched the offer Bellator made, and so she had to stay with the PFL, which means, yeah, she didn't fight Cyborg. But if you ask Cyborg, she doesn't really care about that fight at all. She's much more interested in boxing.
If it was up to you, boxing is more interesting than a Kayla fight right now.
For now, yeah.
But either way, Kayla is back in the PFL this Friday, making another defense. Yep, she's fighting 6-2 Marina Monarchino. She lost notably to Liana Jajua, and over in Bellator, yes, Cyborg thinks her next opponent is Kat Zingano. Also, on a side note, Cyborg revealed that Halle Berry was supposed to have her in Bruised. Yeah, they were buddy best friends, but then she lost to Nunes and apparently kind of just ditched her.
She said she was my fan. She said she was my inspiration.
She cried?
She cried there.
Really?
Really. And after, disappeared. Yeah.
Cut out.
You wouldn't see Hamzat doing that to Till, would you? That movie also sucked. Did it? I didn't watch it. Apparently it sucked. It left me with a bruised ego. I'm bruised emotionally. So obviously this Friday, Bellator is going to France and there were some big fights on the card, including Yoel Romero versus Melvin Manhoef. Yeah, legendary fight between two great competitors there. Would have been a war, but unfortunately Melvin is out. Apparently he's injured. I don't think it's got anything to do with those home invaders he sorted out last week. But it also sucks for Yoel. I mean, Bellator keep trying to put him in high profile matchups, fun fights, but he keeps having opponents pull out. Hopefully he'll get to knock someone out soon though. In your life,
everything is possible.
You can do anything.
When you believe.
And we'll leave you today with the most important news of the week. Of course, UFC 275 fight poster. Ah, look at it. It's good, isn't it? Really unique. Fight poster, fight poster. I love all the fight posters.
Is he a good one? You like it?
Yes, different colors.